In 1532, the Inca Emperor Atahualpa promised gold to Francisco Pizarro for his liberation. The dimensions of that promise were specific: 22 meters long, 7 meters wide, and 2.7 meters high. This exchange secured his release. The ransom was paid: 6 tons of gold, 12 tons of silver. Atahualpa was executed. Official crown records mention the 5th royal levy. But within those columns lies an invisible question: why demand a ransom if liberation was never planned? This accounting detail changes everything. The Inca economic system rested on reciprocity and redistribution. The emperor provided land and goods in exchange for labor. There were no currency and no markets. Anthropologist Gordon McEwen notes that the Incas built an empire without wheels, without draft animals, without iron, or a writing system. Yet their road network and agricultural terraces surpassed contemporary Europe. Fiscal records kept on quipus, knotted cords, show precise accounting of labor. But the conquistadors saw only gold. According to Pizarro's reports, every gold object was measured by weight and market value. It was never measured by symbolic function. A note in Seville archives indicates that the Incas considered gold the sweat of the sun, a sacred, non-monetary metal. The collision of two value systems is the core of the transaction. This is what the economics of plunder attempted to conceal. If the Incas possessed no currency, Atahualpa's ransom held no economic meaning for them. So, why was it paid? The documents suggest they obeyed a duty of reciprocity. A captive emperor demanded a ransom to restore order. But the Spanish broke the pact. This rupture is the first flaw in the official version. The plunder did not end with the ransom. Starting in 1533, the Spanish founded Lima and organized systematic exploitation. Contemporary chronicles report that thousands of Inca art objects, statues, vases, jewelry, were melted down into ingots. The Inca system of redistribution was dismantled. In its place, the crown imposed the encomienda. Indians were entrusted to colonists and had to provide labor tribute. Later, the Mita forced entire villages to work in the Potosi mines. Historian Jared Diamond estimates that this conquest was the direct cause of the Inca collapse. However, he also notes that the empire was already weakened by internal divisions. The gold extracted was not merely an export. It represented centuries of accumulated labor, transformed into metal, then into currency to finance European wars. The true cost of this gold was the destruction of an economic model that had sustained 12 million people without chronic famine. Colonial records show a staggering demographic decline. From 16 million inhabitants in 1532, the Andean population drops to less than 2 million a century later. A royal instruction from 1526, preserved in the Archivo General de Indias, details how the conquest was justified. It states, "Make the Indians understand that we come for their good, but do not neglect the gold." Religious justifications are merely a facade. The evolving question here is no longer what or who. It is, who benefits from this silence? The answer lies within the banks of Seville and the coffers of the church. Darrell E. Lalonde describes the Inca economy as non-market, a term that rendered it invisible to Spanish accountants. And therefore, easy to plunder. Until now, one might believe the Inca conquest was a clash of civilizations. It was a war justified by the need to convert the Indians. But a document found in the Crown archives presents a problem. It is a secret instruction addressed to governors, dated 1526. It states, "You will demand that the Indians recognize the authority of the Pope and the King, but above all, you will seize their metals." The order is clear: conversion was a cover. This same document indicates that the Incas must pay tribute in gold, even if they possessed none, forcing them to work in the mines to produce it. The contradiction is stark. Officially, the Spanish came to save souls. In reality, they came to steal labor. Yet another anomaly emerges: if the Incas had such an advanced economic system, why did the Spanish not seek to preserve it? The answer is simple. The system rested on trust and reciprocity. These were values the conquistadors could not monetize. They chose instead to destroy the entire structure to extract the gold. The question that remains, and which was never settled, is this: who wrote the official version of history? What if the records do not point to an anomaly, but a pattern? Declassified programs follow one another: MKUltra, Operation Mockingbird, Northwoods. Yet, an invisible thread connects them all. The Church Commission in 1975 exposed part of the iceberg. But the complete financial files remain sealed for 50 years. What remains unexplained is the coordination. The documents point toward a single source of funding. An agency that moves across administrations without leaving a trace. In 1973, an internal CIA memorandum mentions an unallocated budget of $347 million. To whom? The rest of the document is obscured. Cross-referencing Senate archives reveals another structure, the Special Operations Group. This name does not appear in official organizational charts. Its directors remain unknown to the public. The projects it oversaw, from media manipulation to electoral influence, follow a single agenda. The question shifts from who knew to who planned. The answers reside in unreleased files. With what we know today, every new program reveals another facet of this same system. But no one has yet opened every door. The most disturbing document does not date from the 1970s. It dates from 2026. On February 5, a declassified cable from the executive branch reveals a line of credit allocated to a program with no name in the budgetary registers. The code is MJ-12 Cont. This code appears in CIA archives dating back to 1965. In 1972, an analyst named John D. Smith noted in a memorandum that this budget was non-accountable. On June 2, 2026, the National Security Committee examined evidence of transfers to an offshore account. The program name is not mentioned, but the amounts match those from 1972. No agency claimed supervision. Today, the program remains operational. The documents show regular payments until May 2026. A marginal note indicates, compliant with Presidential Directive 55 of 1959. This directive, signed by Eisenhower, governs emergency operations. It was never repealed. The 2026 cable does not specify the nature of the operations funded. It simply states that the funds are active and available. The question remains who authorizes these expenditures. No elected official was informed. This 2026 document is proof that the system continues. No one asked why. As the 2026 archives reveal these structures, a new question emerges: why now? The documents exist, but the answers still flee. Who supervises the MJ-12 Cont Fund today? What program is financed by unallocated budgets since 1965? Leadership changes, but operations persist. The inquiry is no longer about what is hidden. It is about why these systems are never dismantled. The next episode examines another piece of this puzzle, a program that should have been buried in 1978, yet reappears in 2025 cables. The codes change. The structures remain. The investigation explores this confluence. It does not exist in history books. It exists in the documents that no one has yet read.